This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
Becky Lynch is going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
All right, everybody, listen. This is kind of a special edition of the show, and only because I wasn't planning on doing this quick thoughts, kind of initial reaction to the Survivor Series event. I will just say a much more in-depth review is going to come your way later on today, and that'll be a much more match-by-match, kind of grinded into a fine powder, but there's just no way I can go to bed as I was about to after laying in bed watching Survivor Series and, having something like that happen. And what am I talking about? Well, of course, it's CM Punk and his return to WWE. I had said it was a very small chance, and it happened. And wow, the crowd was ready for it. You heard some chants throughout the night, especially during the match at the end with the men's War Games match. You heard the CM Punk chants. It wasn't overwhelming. They didn't hijack the show. They kind of said, hey, yeah, we'd like to see Punk tonight, and they got to. Now, Punk didn't do anything. Punk just stood on stage, hugged some fans. The announcers didn't even say anything. The announcers just kind of, they did. They remained silent and let the moment speak for itself. And, it was a massive moment. It's a moment that when you think back to everything he said about WWE in AEW, that he ended his pro wrestling career in, 2005, and he started it again in 2021 or whatever it was, basically telling everybody that what he did in WWE was not pro wrestling, that he, doesn't count that. All the things he said about WWE over the years, the infamous Colt Cabana podcast, everything. I mean, 9 years ago that he left in 2014, nearly 10 years ago. I mean, we're getting close to that exactly 10-year mark that he left WWE, where we never, ever thought we'd see him back again. Well, the never say never saying has come around again, as CM Punk has returned just in time for WrestleMania season. And boy, if this doesn't make you feel like it's the unofficial start to WrestleMania season, I don't know what will. Now, CM Punk, what's he going to do? That remains to be seen. Who's he going to work with? That remains to be seen. I would imagine he's going to stay a baby face, and he's going to face off against a heel. Who would I love for him to go against? John Cena would be a lot of fun at WrestleMania, although I don't know who would be the heel in that one. You could go against Drew McIntyre. You could go against Randy Orton. You could go against Roman Reigns. That, to me, that would be a lot of fun with CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. Maybe at the Rumble. Maybe at the Rumble, because that's the next PLE. When you think about what the big next event is, you have 8 weeks of television to fill. And with no PLE in December, which I still think is a mistake, you're talking about the Royal Rumble, which is the official start to WrestleMania season. And you have, of course, the main event of that show, which is the Rumble itself, but you could have Punk versus Roman Reigns at that event. But I would imagine, for those that are thinking that this is going to be Punk's full return or full-time return to WWE, look at him, right? He looks great, no doubt, but it also is Father Time who is going to tell him no, and nor should he. I don't want Punk there. I don't even need him there every week for whatever show he's going to be on. Maybe he's a free agent. Again, so many questions, so much speculation, but it's not a full-time schedule return. There's just no way, and I don't want that. I want Punk in a position where he's able to come out, cut great promos, and sell the match for whatever match or matches he is signed up for. So it remains to be seen who he's going to face. Now, I would think that he is going to negotiate himself a free agent contract, because then he can float between shows. Not that being a part of a specific brand has ever stopped anybody from crossing over shows, but that to me is what is the best for his career at this point, because I would think that he's signed a very short-term deal. I would think this is my speculation, that it's a 6 to 12 month agreement, and they'll talk again after that time, right? Maybe it's only through Mania. Who knows? I don't know. But this is, to me, a short-term deal, and it is a case-by-case, day-by-day, month-by-month type of agreement where, okay, 3 months, we'll reevaluate. Maybe it's a 6 month, then we'll reevaluate. Because, again, it's just the way to do it with somebody of his age, and you can't build a company around Punk. I don't care how popular he is. You can't build the company around him. He's there to help, have eyeballs on the product. The internet is officially going to blow up. If it already hasn't, it's simmering and about to. If you check out X or you check out Instagram or anything else, it's going to be in your face about CM Punk. And so this is a money draw, and nothing wrong with that. But this is also about helping new talent, hopefully. Now, I don't want him coming in doing the John Cena routine where he loses all the time. I need him to win a couple of matches and maybe build himself to Mania. I fully expect him to show up on Raw tomorrow night, and absolutely, I think he's going to be there now. And again, I fully expect him to be a free agent in terms of what brand he's going to be on. But now, outside of that return from Punk, which again is kind of surreal when you really break it down in WWE. It was a massive return in AEW in 2021, and it absolutely blew the roof off of Chicago in the Allstate Arena. This was a similar, although I don't think as loud, but pretty close reaction for Punk. But it's really surreal when you just take everything into consideration, everything that's been said, all the feelings we've had, everything that he's done, everything that other people have said about what you do. This, to me, is really a massive shift in Punk. Now, listen, money speaks, money talks. I understand that. But is he selling himself for money? Is he doing the one thing that he always claims everyone else does, and that there's no integrity anymore? That kind of thing. I don't know. Yeah, you can look. I'm not trying to down this return. It's a massive return. One that we've all been speculating about for the last 9 years. He could do this. Oh, he's here. Oh, they're in Chicago. He could return. And then when he went to AEW and had a very, I think, a hot start, and then a very, very, very cold and honestly embarrassed AEW. The way that he conducted himself in post-event press conferences with Tony Khan was embarrassing. It was extremely unprofessional. It's something that you don't want on your resume. If you're trying to work with a nationally televised company, you don't want that out there, because what are other companies going to think? You're going to embarrass them. So also, don't you wonder what was said between Triple H and Punk? I mean, how many people would want to be there as a fly on the wall for that conversation with those two? Given their history, their real life history of really disliking one another, their promos they cut against one another back in 2012, just so many things. And maybe he was tempted by Vince being gone. All these things, guys. I mean, this is all speculation. I mean, I'm chatting here for 10 minutes, and so far it's all just speculative, and that's okay, because we've got nothing else to go on. I don't have Punk on the show. I don't have any WWE executives on the show who will spill the beans. It's just me using my brain as a fan, thinking logically, and that's all I've got, as you do too. So I'm interested to hear if you guys want to, send your thoughts my way. That's what the mailbag's for. Real WWE podcast at gmail.com is one, or the best one, mailbag at wwepodcast.com is the way to go. Also, get your self-sign up for Patreon, because on Patreon, guys, you can get yourself a Discord server chat, which has blown up. And it's a little private area for patrons to chat during live shows or anytime. Really, it's open 24/7, 365 days a year. But it is, and it gets you everything ad-free. So I'd like to welcome two new people, Sean Greathouse and Callum Rowland. Both of you have joined us on the SmackDown level over the last couple of days. And thank you, Sean and Callum. Thank you so much. You guys have enjoyed yourselves, I hope, and more fun to be had. And George Picard, if I haven't already said thank you to George. I hope you're enjoying yourself as well. So shout out to all you guys. And hey, this is a massive return. And honestly, here's the downside, and it's not even about Punk. The downside is if you're Randy Orton and you have an 18-month hiatus, you've been injured for the better part of a year and rehabbing, getting back fusion surgery and busting your ass to get back, thinking about your return, having the fans speculate. I've been talking about his return on this show for at least the last 12 to 14 months. He could return here. Oh, doctor said he's not going to return. Oh, he could return here. I've heard, yeah, all that. And we finally get the announcement he's returning. And then he does. And he looks like $1 million. And look, Randy Orton has, I would argue, looks the best he's ever looked ever in his entire career. That's saying something because he's never been really out of shape per se. But he put muscle on. And he looks, I mean, dude. It makes like the rest of us feel like total crap. But he looks like $1 million. He hasn't lost a step. He is Randy Orton. He hits that massive RKO. We'll get to that in a second too. And then people are, they're chanting holy S for him. They're happy to see him. They give him a massive pop. And then 10 seconds later after the match is over, they've forgotten about Randy Orton already. Because Punk has overshadowed the return of Orton. And maybe that'll turn into something between the two. I don't know, but I would imagine Jey Uso and Randy have things to work out. At least they acknowledge that. That's a good thing, because I was worried that they were going to just totally forget about the fact that Orton was taken out by Jey. They didn't ignore it. I appreciate that. But, I mean, you got to be feeling a little bit for Randy. Do you not? He also didn't get the pin. And, of course, you have Mr. Politician there, Mr. Gotta get all the victories, gotta be the White Knight, Randy Orton hits arguably one of the biggest RKOs ever that could probably kill someone. And instead of going for the pin, he allows Cody to go for the lame ass crossroads. There was no reaction to that move, by the way. People are like, what? We're going to go from the RKO off the top of the cage to a lame ass crossroads. I mean, just to give Cody the victory, just to create some symmetry, just so that we can say, well, oh, isn't that so nice? Cody's daddy, who invented this matchup in 1984 or whatever it was, or was it 1987? One of the mid 80s. And then his son, for the first time, enters the very match that his dad created and gets the victory for his team. No one gives a crap about that other than WWE statisticians. Is that a word? Yeah. Those of you that care about such things really thought that was fun. I really thought it was a big womp that Cody is the one that got the pinfall instead of Randy, who's the returning massive babyface who just hit one of the biggest RKOs of his life. And instead you're going to basically hit a flip-flop move on Damian Priest so Cody can say he got the victory. I'm sorry. That was just inexcusable. Orton, who's been on the shelf for 18 months, hits a super RKO, and we don't even allow him to get the pin. It has to be Mr. Bleach Blonde. Come on. How are people not turning on this guy? And I understand. I understand it's predetermined. I understand that they knew this was going to happen. It's not really Randy and not really Cody who's doing this, but booing the creative on that is what we should do. Don't look at this in terms of Cody actually choosing to do this. No, boo the creative on this. I know we're not going to do that because Randy's on part of the team. I understand that, but I would love an organic turn on Cody. It's overwhelming right now. He's responsible for all these people coming in. Jey being brought to Raw. Randy coming back to WWE. Being the one to get the victory here. By the way, winning. Also, he was the last one from his team, other than Randy, to be entered into the match. We got him in the number 30 spot of the Rumble last year and winning the Rumble at the number 30 spot as a babyface. What is going on? Just how are people cheering this guy? You take the entrance music away from Cody. If it was entrance music that was just kind of ho-hum, I don't know if this guy's getting cheered as much as he is. So, I digress. I'll dive more into that match, into all of the matches, the women's match, the women's War Games match, the Intercontinental title match with Gunther and The Miz, the just crazy amount of the crazy amount of promotions during the show, which I can't remember the last time, and maybe I just disregard it and don't put it in my memory, but the amount of just sponsorships in the show with Ruffles, I mean, my God, like, and WWE Shop, have we really relegated Alpha Academy to just being infomercial salesmen? Is that what we're doing now? Like, is that who they are? I mean, come on. We just had, Chad Gable nearly win the Intercontinental Championship and have 3 matches of his career against Gunther a couple months ago. And all of a sudden he's in there trying to sell Ruffles potato chips. He has a vested interest in making sure that you buy a Stone Cold Steve Austin vest or a replica world title or an LA Knight t-shirt. What? I guess pun intended. I mean, I understand they have to have someone do it. You can have R-Truth do it. It was nice to see Truth. Why? I mean, I don't get it. They've got nothing better to do. And also the New Day, which the New Day are walking cartoons anyway. So they had a Slim Jim spot in there, driving the Slim Jim car in there. And then all of a sudden they're offering each other Slim Jims, which you can bet your ass that neither of them are incorporating them in their daily diets. Like, they're always eating these foods that none of them are actually eating in real life, outside of maybe Otis, which was a smart decision there because, I mean, looking at Otis, probably, right? But who cares? It's just sometimes the sponsorships are so forced. It just takes me out of the moment, man. I understand they got to pay the bills, just like we hear ads on this show. Ads are annoying. I understand. But sometimes it just takes a little too far. And by the way, no LA Knight on the show. And I'm not sad about that from the perspective that I think his presence would have been overshadowed and overshined by Punk's return and Orton's return. And where would you have put him? I understand that he also went from main eventing with Roman Reigns, nearly winning the Universal title, to not even being mentioned on the show, not even appearing, not even having a whisper of a presence on the show. I understand that. But it's just kind of a fall from grace for a moment for LA Knight. I'm not really worried about it unless it becomes a pattern. But so now we've got a totally different roster with 2 massive names being added. One of them we knew was coming with Orton, and it looks like $1 million. And then you have CM Punk, who a lot of you predicted. I said probably not. I said most likely not, and I was wrong. He did show, and he got a haircut, and I guess looks good, and we'll see who his first opponent is. I would imagine CM Punk opens Raw tomorrow night. I would imagine he's the one that comes out first, and we get probably a 10-minute CM Punk chant, ovation, and then he finally is able to speak, and maybe the Judgment Day interrupts him. I would think maybe the Judgment Day interrupts him, as that's what they do. They interrupt everyone, and then maybe he hits a GTS on Dom at the end of the night. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea what kind of shape his body's in, if he was able to compete in a match or two. We don't know. So instead of me just continuing to speculate with nothing other than my own brain, that's what I wanted to say quickly tonight, guys, and just kind of a 20-minute response to Punk, or a 20-minute response to Orton, maybe some other things about Cody there, as you heard, but I'll dive much more deeply into this tomorrow night on my weekend review for the official review of War Games Survivor Series. So that'll be coming your way tomorrow night. I just wanted to get that off my chest. And again, guys, hit me up on X at Wrestling Audio, or just search the WWE podcast on X, or on my email, mailbag@wwepodcast.com, because I respond to all the emails on our mailbag show. So keep it brief, but I will answer all emails. And let me know. So let me know what you guys think about this return. It's a big one. Are you excited? Are you not? Or where do you think this is going to go? Who his opponents or opponent could be? And we'll be chatting tomorrow night for a massive review show tomorrow night. And I think I'll do it solo, but we'll see. Maybe I'll bring somebody on at the last second, and we'll have some fun. All right, that'll do it for me tonight, guys. What a show. I'll be talking to you soon. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.